Kathy, and I'm going to talk to you today about the Toefl test, specifically the speaking section of the Toefl IBT. I've been teaching Toefl for over 5 years and have written also for Toefl textbooks. So I want you to have confidence that I can help you get a higher score. Of course, the score you want is a 4 on each of your speaking questions. That's the highest score you can be awarded. A couple of things about the acronyms I'm going to be using. I'll be saying Toefl. This stands for Test of English as a Foreign Language, which is what we're focusing on today. Second, I'm going to use the acronym ETS. The ETS stands for the Educational Testing Service. The Educational Testing Service is the ones who administer the Toefl, and they're responsible for creating the test and scoring the test that you've completed. Question 1 is about a familiar topic. That means it's something that everyone has some experience with. I have broken it down into 5 major categories that this question is usually going to ask you about, although please note that they can really ask you about anything. But these are the ones I see the most often on the test. The first is when it asks about your favorite. So an example for that would be, what is your favorite season of the year? And why do you like that season so much? What is your favorite style of dress? And why do you like that style of dress? The second type asks you about the best of something. So it could be, who is the best teacher you've ever had and why were they the best teacher? What is the best vacation you've ever been on and what made that vacation so great? The third type asks you about the most something. So it could be interesting, exciting, influential. What is the most interesting movie you've ever seen, and why was that movie so interesting? What was the most exciting experience you had as a child, and why was that so exciting for you? Influential could be, who is the most influential person in your life? Or, who is the most influential person from your country, and what makes them so influential? Then, this is a very common one where they ask you to describe something. So it could ask you, describe your ideal marriage partner and why do you value those qualities? Or describe the house you grew up in. Last, it will ask you to agree or disagree with a statement. So an example for this would be, do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Students should live at home while they're studying at university. Whatever they ask you, they're going to ask you to use reasons and details to support your answer. So make sure that you're ready with some reasons and details before your 15 seconds preparation time is up. I recommend you use 2 supporting reasons. This is because the ETS looks for topic development. So if you have 2 supporting reasons to support why you particularly liked a certain movie or book, it shows that you've developed your answer. And 15 seconds is actually enough time to do that. Another word about what the ETS looks for, they like cohesive answers. This means your answer glues and flows well together. So, how do you establish cohesion? You need to use transitional devices. You can easily Google transitional devices, but I'll give you a few here now. In order to add ideas, you should use something like in addition, moreover, or secondly. If you want to show a contrast, you would say in contrast or on the other hand. You can also use things like and, furthermore, and for your final idea, you can say something like finally. For your concluding statement, you should say something quickly like, that's why I like the movie Renew. This shows a nice, clean end to your speaking. I only recommend adding a conclusion, though, if you have a few seconds at the end. The ETS would rather see a developed answer than to have a conclusion. So make sure you have a developed answer, and if you have a few seconds left over, you can end your answer with, and that's why I really enjoy going to Italy for vacation. Let's talk about how to use the 15 seconds you have in the best possible way. Let's say my question is, where do you enjoy going on vacation? Why do you enjoy going there? Give reasons and examples to support your opinion. In my 15 seconds, I have time to pick a place. I'm going to pick Hawaii. I'm also going to write down climate and water sports. That's all I have time to do in my 15 seconds, but that's all I really need, because I can develop it from this. When the beep goes off indicating it's time for me to speak, I'll simply say, my favorite place to go on vacation is Hawaii, for several reasons. The first reason is, I really enjoy the climate there. I don't like the cold, and Hawaii never gets cold. On the other hand, it never gets too hot because of the ocean breeze that goes over the islands. It's a perfect balmy climate year-round. Secondly, I like Hawaii because I enjoy water sports. I'm an avid snorkeler, and Hawaii has some of the best snorkeling in the world. I can go snorkeling and see green sea turtles, dolphins, even stingrays. It's really an amazing place to go, and that's why I enjoy going to Hawaii on vacation. A lot of students ask me what will happen if they're still speaking when the beep sounds. The answer is simple. Nothing will happen. The ETS is used to people being cut off because they know 45 seconds isn't very long. Remember, the ETS graders grade hundreds of these a day, and they've heard that many, many times. As long as you've developed your response and recorded it, you should be fine. I also get students who ask me, what will happen if I don't have enough to say? Well, that's rarely the case, but if you don't have enough to say, try to think of a couple of other ideas or add a conclusion. They just need a sample of your speaking that they can grade you on. If you've only given them 20 or 30 seconds, they will consider your response underdeveloped and you will not get the full 4 points. Other students ask me, what will happen if I don't have a response? Like, I don't have a favorite book or a favorite teacher. Well, the answer is you're going to have to make something up in that situation. The ETS is not interested in the truthfulness of your reply. In fact, some students have reported to me that they find it easier to lie than to tell the truth. When they tell the truth, they have to brainstorm and think of what's really true. A lot of students say, it's easier, teacher, to just make something up. I recommend you practice both. Practice telling the truth and practice lying on this question. That way you can see which one you're more comfortable with personally. Just remember, the ETS is not interested in you telling the truth. They're interested in how well you can respond to the question. Here are a few extra tips to help you with question 1. First of all, practice. I can't stress this enough. But you also have to practice within the time constraints that the ETS gives you. Use a stopwatch. Only allow yourself 15 seconds to prepare and only 45 seconds to speak. Have a native speaker listen to you. Make sure that they can understand everything you say. Clarity and intelligibility are very important to the ETS. Make sure your speech is easy to understand for a native speaker. A little bit about grammar. Grammar is part of this question. You can make some grammar mistakes, but if the grammar interferes with the ETS's ability to understand you, you will not get a full score. I recommend you pick up a grammar book to practice if this is one of your weaknesses. Vocabulary. The ETS is interested in a range and flexibility of vocabulary. So try not to repeat yourself and try to expand your vocabulary as much as possible. Some final tips. Remember, when you practice, keep to the 15 seconds to prepare and the 45 seconds to speak. You really need to get used to speaking in such a limited time. Next, familiarize yourself with some of the subjects they ask you about on the first question. Practice talking to your friends about these subjects and get familiar with the language usually used to describe these subjects. Some, but not all, of the subjects they might ask you about are sports, clothing, food, your friends, your marriage partner, housing, topics in school, teachers you've had, questions about your childhood. Practice talking about these topics with others before you go into the test. If you can record yourself and listen to it, that's a really good idea. Then you will know what you sound like before you go into the real test. On my next video, I'll be talking about speaking question 2, and I will be talking about how the ETS grades speaking questions 1 and 2. They use the same standards for both of these speaking questions. So, I'll see you next time, and in the meantime, remember, keep practicing and good luck on your TOEFL.